So I've coached over 100 traders in some way, shape, or form. Different strategies, different account sizes, different assets, different experience levels, and completely different approaches. And within the first 10 minutes of talking to people, when we start getting on our first calls and I start to do the groundwork to understand what type of traders that they are, I can usually spot one thing that is holding them back. And it tends to be across the board. Now, when you start working with many traders, you do tend to see the same habits along the way. We're not talking, from strategies. We're talking about when you really, really need to get to that consistent level. And it's must be a human thing because it seems to be the same problem across the board. Now, see, the thing is, you can't see this yourselves when you are coming into this trading space or when you've been trading for a few years and you still can't find that consistency. But it's almost the same for every single trader that I work with. Now, let me describe what I mean, because you've come here to find out what that is. There is a variety. There's a variety of traders that I have worked with. Again, whether that's new traders, whether that's experienced, profitable, non-profitable, funded, eval jail, which means can't get out of these evaluations, blowing XFAs, whatever it may be, in different markets, different systems, different time zones. Okay, I work with people from all over the globe, all right? And what they think the problem is the same as what I thought the problem was when I was trading. I thought that it was all about getting a new strategy, trying to find the newest idea on YouTube or the newest kind of strategy that's going to get me, whether it was an orb, whether it was an ICT thing, whether it was an ABC or as they say, a turtle soup, mermaid backflipping turtle, whatever it may be. Okay, that's what I thought that it was. I thought then, well, it can't be that because now I've got an idea. Maybe it's just more discipline. Maybe it's just more knowledge. Maybe I need to understand the market more, the trap that we fall in at the beginning. And then it was, well, now I've got everything I think, maybe it's just managing risk. That's what you think the problem is. That's what I thought the problem was for a very long time and the people that I work with. Now, what I actually see in the first 10 minutes is not that. I see a pattern emerge, all right, when I work with traders. And again, it is really what you think it is. It's almost always the same root cause, the same root of the problem, okay? And here's what it is. It's a simple thing, and the pattern that I see is it's an identity problem. It is an identity problem because you don't know who you are and what type of person you need to even be a trader. Now, this pattern shows up in almost everyone. In identity conflict, I've been speaking about this quite a lot in my own journey with our community. Who you think you need to be versus who you actually are. That's the conflict and the problem that you're having all around your trading. It is not just a strategy. It is not just risk management. It is not just discipline. It is an accumulation of many, many things that your identity is not aligned with that at this moment in time. And that's because trading is kind of the opposite to the way that we think as humans. That's why it's very, very hard. And people say, well, what's that aha moment? There is no aha moment. The only closest thing I can say to aha moment is when your identity aligns with how you're trying to trade. Now, what you believe you need to be as a trader is incorrect from what you need to be as actually a trader. Because if that was the case, we would just learn that knowledge and everybody would be the same. Hey, quick one. Many of you are ignoring the main thing that you need to be doing, and that is journaling. Now, to make it very, very simple for you, in the link below, there is a 30-day free journal and review template. Go and check it out, go and download it, print it off, use that for the next 30 days, and I can guarantee you that your trading will no longer be gambling, no longer eval cycling, no longer inconsistent, blowing accounts, blowing XFAs, and doing all these crazy things that everybody seems to be doing online. Go in the description, 30-day free journal and review template. Go and check it out. Now, you might be thinking, well, how do I know this, friend? Well, it shows up in many, many ways, all right? But there's just a few things that I'll kind of state that it will show up in certain ways. Now, the first one is you don't believe that you can actually be profitable. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, everybody wants, and I've done a video on one, I've done a video on feedback loop theory. I've done many, many videos on these things, so go and check them out. But you might say, well, of course I deserve it. I'm putting the work in. That is completely different from actually what you are doing and what aligns on your behavior and how you think in the process of trading, all right? You don't believe that you are the kind of person that can be a trader. I've spoke with traders, I'm not sure it's for me. I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. That in itself, that belief system right there is then a problem. That's an identity problem, right? Then you also have an image of what trading success actually looks like. And you don't match that at this time. Now, if you went online and you're seeing what trading success looked like, you'd be falling for all this crap that you see everywhere. Trading success is different for everybody else, okay? It's very different. Someone can earn $1,000 a month and be free as a bird, and someone needs to earn 100,000 because they need to keep keeping up with their marketing program, all right? Whatever you see as success, success needs to align with what you think. Now, my success is, can I go for a hike on a Monday morning without no one having to worry and me not worrying about bills and my family being okay? That's success to me. Do I like nice things? Yes. Do I want to travel? Do I like traveling? Yes. Do I like outdoors? Yes. But the main thing for freedom, for trading for me, is freedom to do as I want. And even more so, which is even a bigger fulfillment, is to coach and lead a community of like-minded people. That for me is success. And that's what I'm building and I currently do. So that's my success. To other people, that might not be the case. So for you watching this, yours might just be all about money, materialistic, flexing, and stroking your ego. That could be the case. It will soon change once you start to understand the identity of what you need to be to become a trader. Now, you might not see certain things, okay? This creates a certain ceiling for you, all right? And you might not see this ceiling. You might not understand it. All right. So let me try and break it down into two types of ways. You can only perform to the level of your identity. So if your identity and your belief system and the way that you are is like a gambling degenerate kind of apex 20 accounts, eval cycling, which that will stop now, right? Your identity is clearly based on greed, gambling, materialistic things. That is not going to do you any favors in the long run, all right? That's your identity. That's your trading identity, right? Now, if it's very, very different and you're doing it not focused on the money and you're doing it on a process and you're trying to learn a craft, then that's the identity that's going to give you what you need in the long run, all right? You also, if you don't see yourself as a profitable trader, then you're self-sabotaging straight away. You're never going to be a profitable trader if you don't see yourself as a profitable trader. So, let me give you some examples of what I mean by that. Okay, so say, for example, that you're a trader who can't take profits. All right, you want to hold too long. You've got this one of greed and you can't take profits. Now, you get into good trades and then you watch them win and then you don't exit, comes all the way back round, hits your TP or your stop loss, right? Comes all the way around to hit your maybe entry, or you even allow it to then hit your stop loss. Now, why do you do this? Because deep down, right, you don't believe that you deserve to lock in that win. There is something in your core belief system, and I've done many videos on that, that is stopping you from locking in that profits. You don't believe that you deserve that. So you're quite happy to self-sabotage and let it go without you, right? You've also got the trader, this maybe gives all your profits back. I work with many traders just this week. They're $2,000, $3,000 up, and by the end of the week, they've gave it all back and more because they've overtraded, okay? So again, say you have a great week and then you blow it all, like I just said, a couple of our students this week, right? Now, why did you do that? Because their identity doesn't include someone who's ahead. Maybe they've always been criticized. Maybe they've always been brought down. Maybe they've always had to prove themselves. Now you get what I'm talking about when I talk about trading is not about strategies. Trading is not about the furu, guru, whatever. Trading is about a true understanding of your identity. That's what it actually is, all right? What about the trader who can't even pull the trigger? Sees the setup, knows it's valid, but doesn't enter. Again, I see this behavior every single day. Why do they do that? Because they don't trust themselves to manage that trade. They don't trust themselves. So they've not built enough belief system in the process that they should be trusting. It's a very, very common thread, right? And again, it's not the strategy. It's the way you believe yourself. It's the way that you believe about yourself. That's what it is, okay? Very, very interesting. So you may see, well, why can't I see it myself? Well, this is the key. This is why you can't see it yourself, right? So the reason you can't see it yourself is we don't see our internal operating systems. The outside world sees our operating systems. They don't see internally. They just see a result of how we operate. Now, because of that, we can't see our belief systems. Our belief systems are formed over a period of time. Why do you have this conflict all the time? I have conflicts all the time. If you've been following me recently, I've been having a huge conflict, all right? Good and bad, but which makes me feel really happy, but then I have to think, how's this going to work? And those that know will know. But if you don't understand your internal operational system, then you're really going to struggle, because your beliefs are going to come out into that trade. Now, your beliefs might, kind of build facts. They feel like facts, your beliefs, all right? And your beliefs, remember, are a perspective. So I'm not a consistent person, for example. I'm always bad with money. This is what my family always used to say to me, and I believed that for decades, that I was terrible with money. And it was a belief system. It was in my nervous system. So imagine coming into trading when you know you're terrible with money, I'm too emotional for this. This feels like the truth, all right? Not a belief. That actually feels like you're telling the truth, when actually that's a belief. That is not the truth, all right? And this is why coaching and working with individuals matters. Now, again, if you need any help with that, that there is there's a link below. You can jump on that. Like you say, we only work with a handful of people. You can go down and check that out, all right? Go and check that out. Get involved. If we're a good fit for you or you're a good fit for us, we can obviously help you on this road of where you need to obviously be getting, where you need to get to. And that's because from a coach looks at it from an outside perspective. I don't judge you. I don't know people when I first start working them. I've got a great community now and I know them quite well, but I can be honest with them, because I'm not within their kind of immediate circle as such, all right? So I'm looking at you and looking at the people that I coach with through their eyes, and they tell me what the problem is, and we can figure out what the problem is. And that really gives me and everybody else a really good understanding. So how are you going to start this shift? Say you don't want to work with nobody, say you want to do this on your own. How are you going to obviously start this shift? Now, the first thing is you're going to have to start noticing. You're going to have to notice the beliefs that are obviously holding you back as a trader. So what do you say to yourself before you make trades? What do you say to yourself when you're making these mistakes? What do you say to yourself when you lose money? Whatever you say to yourself in this vocab, this is going to start your belief. This is what you believe of yourself. You also need to think to yourself, well, what do I believe is possible? What do you believe is possible? Can you make 10K a month? Would it be, oh my God, that would be unbelievable. It just would be a dream. I don't think I can do that. That's the wrong way to think about it. Okay, that's the wrong way. And then start questioning these beliefs, right? Are these facts? Are they actual facts, or are they just your opinion or the outside world's opinion? Where did these beliefs come from? Did you make them up yourself, or did they come from the environment as you was younger, which they probably did, all right? And are they actually true? Chances are they're probably not true, all right? They're probably just a belief that you are fueling, which is then creating the truth, and you believe that it is true. So remember that your identity is not born, all right? It is built. Your identity is built. It is not born. So every successful trader has to become someone new. Every successful person has to become someone new. And along that way, you're going to have challenges. You're going to have temptations. You're going to have hurdles. And you don't know which way your life's going to go. You really don't. One day you can think you're going in one way, and then something can hit you and you just do not know which way that's going to go. All right. This is all part and the beauty and the challenge of life. So remember, identity is built. It is not born. You build it. You are not born from that. Now, the good thing is we can all change. We can all change. We can all be the person that we want to be. We can all create the life that we want to create. And so here's what I want you to do, all right? I want you to write down belief about yourself as a trader. Now, by the way, if you ever want any help, there is a free 30-day journal in the description below. Go and check it out. It's free. 30 days will get you right on track for everywhere that you need to get to. Let me go back. Now, write down your belief. What do you believe as a trader? Be brutally honest. Do you think you're good enough? Do you think you can do this? Does this sound too good to be true? Because remember, like I said in the last video, for every belief that you have, there's going to be an opposite. If you think money is hard to make, well, you also think that you're not going to be able to become a trader to make money. All right. Once you've done that, once you've wrote, I blow accounts and why can I not be consistent and why is this not working for me and why am I chasing and why am I gambling, and these things will happen. They still happen to me sometimes. Then you're going to ask, well, where did it come from? Where's this gambling come from? Where is this high leverage come from? Where is this self-sabotage come from? How do you feel, right? Now you can use AI and things like that to figure this out. I use it for all these amazing things, all right? Very, very simple stuff. Then you also then need to go and think about and write down what you need to believe to be the trader that you want to be at the level. What do you need to believe? What do you need to convince yourself to believe, all right? And once you start speaking these new beliefs, even if you don't believe it yet, you are slowly becoming the person that will be able to execute precision trading. You are slowly becoming, and your identity is slowly shifting over a course of time. Remember that results will only come as a byproduct and a delayed, I say delayed indicator, but they are delayed from the actions that you put in. Could be a month, could be 2 months, could be 3 months, could be 4 months, could be 5 years, but they are delayed from the behavior, all right? And again, if you need any help with that, you know exactly where it is below. So again, do all the things that you need to do. Go and download the journal. Go and take this. Go and study the person you need to be to become an actual trader, not what you see all the stuff online. Of course, these educational videos, and I'm sure there is many like this out there, but unfortunately, the ones that get the views are not the content that you need. I'll see you soon.